Picking the best Montgomery County DWI attorney. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know right now. Today we're going over the top ways to get a Montgomery County criminal defense attorney for a DWI. So how to get the top DWI lawyer for your case. One thing that happens when we get a call from somebody who's been arrested for a DWI, they're normally asking us, do we have any experience in cases like this? Do we have any experience in the area? Montgomery County is very different from Harris County. I was a prosecutor in both places, both Montgomery County and Harris County, and I can tell you the way they look at DWIs is also very different. Montgomery County has one of the highest DWI rates and fatality DWI rates, and the district attorney in Montgomery County, Brett Ligon, was actually elected in part based on his stance that he was going to take on DWIs. And there's a couple ways and a couple things you need to understand about a DWI case before you get into it, before you start trying to pick a lawyer. Okay, the first is if it's your first time DWI, then it's a Class B misdemeanor unless you have a breath or blood test over 0.15. Then it's a Class A misdemeanor. And so when you get arrested for a DWI, you've got a bond out of the jail. You may have bond conditions if you have a greater than 0.15 case. So somebody that can explain all these things to you, it's going to be very important to have someone who's got familiarity with how they do things. In Harris County, if you get like a Houston lawyer for this, then they may only be familiar with what's called pretrial services, and they don't understand what it's like to be on bond conditions in Montgomery County, where on a misdemeanor, you might be having to call a phone number every day to check in to see if it's your turn to get randomly drug or alcohol tested. You may have to pay for your own drug or alcohol test. It's $22, and they're going to ask you to go to Davis Laboratories. One thing that's specific about Montgomery County DWI cases is that they are going to require you to go to Davis Labs, and they'll say, okay, well, you can go anywhere and get this lab test done when it's your turn, and then have them send it to us. But oftentimes, if it's not from the Conroe location, Davis Labs, they don't get it. We have cases where the client has gone, they have been drug tested, and it's been sent, but it just doesn't go through. Or the probation officer doesn't recognize that, or there's some kind of filter on their email or whatever the case is. And then our client ends up in the jury box when we go to court because they haven't done things correctly. So just having somebody who knows the internal system. So, for example, at our office, we have a probation specialist who used to be a probation and bond supervision officer for 15 years while here in Montgomery County. And our clients have access to that as a resource. So you want to have somebody who has an intimate knowledge of the specific county you're talking about. The other thing that's important about Montgomery County is, it depends on which court you're in as to what judge is going to be overseeing your case. If you're in Montgomery County Court at Law Number 4, you're going to have Judge Hudson, and she is very strict on these requirements. If you have an interlock violation, let's say you had a 0.15 or greater, even though it's your first time having a DWI, if you have an interlock violation, you may end up back in jail, meaning if you test positive for alcohol blowing into your system one time, you might end up back in jail. In County Court 1, Judge Hafley, he's a former military member and former JAG officer. He's also very strict about timing. If you come to court late on his case, he's going to call the docket right when court begins. If it's at 8:30 in the morning, you better be there at 8:30, or you could end up back in jail. Whereas in Harris County or some other counties, there's a lot more lenient time restriction. Some Harris County courts don't even require you to be there in person if your lawyer's there. So again, understanding the peculiarities about Montgomery County cases is important. The other thing to look at when you're looking for, the top Montgomery County criminal defense attorney for your case is going to be the jury pool. So what kind of people get picked if we had to go to a jury trial in Montgomery County? That's going to help inform you on your decision. Is this a good offer or a bad offer? Well, it depends on what's going to happen if we go to a jury trial. That's ultimately the only way that a criminal case ends is, did you reach an agreement with the prosecutor, either for a dismissal or a plea bargain, or did you go to the judge or jury for a trial? Most of the time on a DWI, I would not recommend going to a judge trial. Typically, a jury trial is the best way to protect your rights as a criminal defendant. And so if we go to a jury trial, what is a Montgomery County jury going to do? It's not the same as a Galveston jury. It's not the same as a Harris County jury. And if the only cases that your lawyer has tried are in these other counties, they're not going to understand how difficult it can be to win a jury trial in Montgomery County. It is a very conservative county. Most people come in assuming that the defendant is guilty. And so is there an angle where it's clear we can win a case? Well, that answer changes based on what county you're looking at. And so you may have an alternate option. The other thing that I would say, if you're looking for the top Montgomery County DWI attorney for you, you want to have somebody who understands the pretrial diversion program in Montgomery County. It is operated through the special courts, I would say, prosecutor position. There is a single prosecutor who makes these decisions along with an intern, and they review what's called a pretrial diversion packet. There are specific instructions on what to put in this kind of a packet that differ from other counties. And so knowing whether your case is likely to be approved or denied also helps in the decision-making process. And so having somebody who's been through that is very important. So ultimately, in a criminal case, if you've been arrested, and a DWI is a criminal case, you want to know that you are getting the best advice and you're getting the best decision-making ability, because every case ends with some kind of a decision, either a decision to go to trial or a decision to take an offer. And you have to feel comfortable that your attorney is telling you the truth. So that's probably the last thing that I would say to look for if you're looking for the top Montgomery County criminal defense attorney or the top Montgomery DWI lawyer. You have to feel comfortable that they're going to tell you the truth from the beginning of your case, because anybody can say, oh, we're going to do a great job in your case, but it is the lawyer who will be honest about the challenges in your case that is going to be the most help to you, because everybody's going to face the same struggles based on the facts of a case, based on the prosecutor and the judge in the case, but not everybody is going to know and get a fair assessment of how difficult or how easy it's going to be. Not everybody's going to know this is the kind of case we need to fight versus this is the kind of case we need to avoid further damage. Sometimes a case is a little more serious after we review the video evidence and other evidence than we thought originally. And so maybe the prosecutor hasn't reviewed that. Maybe we need to settle the case more quickly if we're going to get on top of that faster, because we have the ability to receive that evidence. We're already members of the portal. That's another thing to think of, is if this attorney isn't practicing in Montgomery County regularly, then they're not going to be familiar with all the different processes that differ from county to county. I was a prosecutor in 4 different counties, and I can tell you that every county does it differently, and every county thinks that the way they do it is the only and best way to do it. And so that's a really good, I think, summary in general of what to look for when you're looking for the best Montgomery County DWI attorney for your case. And thanks for everybody for watching. Make sure to tune in next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, this video is only for educational purposes. If you have a question about getting an attorney, make sure to talk with one, arrange a consultation, and we'll see you next time.